Savvy Business Radio, drawing out the best from our guests with our host, Christina Nitchman.
Our guests today are the founders of How I Met My Dog, the first online service to custom match people through a powerful algorithm with their canine soulmate. The three founders joining us today are Jodi Andersen, Sharon Mosse, and Maryann Zeman. Find your perfect dog soulmate at howimetmydog.com. Welcome to Savvy Business Radio, Jodi, Sharon, and Maryann. We're so blessed to have you here today. You have a wonderful business helping people out there find their perfect doggy soulmate. How I Met My Dog, the perfect idea for helping people, especially in New York City, like where I live, find that perfect doggy soulmate for their apartment, their home, their lifestyle, so that they can give that dog a forever home. How I Met My Dog. Sharon, what even brought you to creating this business?
Okay, this is Maryann, and I will tell you a little bit about how we started. Mm-hmm. Like many ideas, this How I Met My Dog came about because of actually my experience having originally had dogs from breeders, which I picked for all the wrong reasons. Mm-hmm. And those dogs had some great qualities, but I also had a lot of issues because the dogs were not a great fit for my lifestyle. Mm-hmm. And I also had great experience with a rehome dog, just by chance, because a friend was sitting next to a friend and happened to know about a dog who needed a home because they couldn't adjust in New York City. Mm-hmm. So in both instances, I thought, gee, this is a really random way for people and dogs to come together. There's got to be a better way, especially in the age where people are finding each other through online matching. Mm-hmm. So I approached Jodi, and I knew Jodi because I was actually a client of hers when I had dogs that had some serious behavior issues. Mm-hmm. And I approached Jodi, and I approached Sharon, who I worked with in advertising and marketing, and said, this is a real need, I think, and how can we create a better service for people to find their canine soulmates? So wow. That's how we started.
I love that you mentioned that, because when I came from Virginia, my parents had us, and we grew up in Virginia. And then when my parents got divorced, we moved back up here. This is where my mom was born, in New York. And we took my poor dog that was born and raised in Virginia and brought her to New York City. Oh my gosh, the traffic, the noise, it sent her into near panic, post-traumatic, like 24/7. And I mean, the poor dog lived a really stressful rest of her life, very short life. And it would have been nice to be able to find her a rehome where she didn't have to go through that stress. And we didn't think about it. Of course, we would never leave our dog and leave in Virginia. Like a lot of people say, oh, the dog's not going to work, we'll just leave him behind. We would never dream of doing that. But right. I love that you were able to help dogs and rehome them, because sometimes that's a real issue. You have to move for whatever reason, and it doesn't work for the dog, not so much even you.
Absolutely.
Right, there's a I'm sorry, Jodi.
This is Jodi. That's exactly why we did when we created How I Met My Dog, to help rehome dogs as well as dogs in shelters, because so many people that really do love their dogs and would never otherwise, as you said, give up on them or leave them behind, don't understand that finding them the right home means that they'll be happy again too. And oftentimes when we take them with us or we keep them, while it's out of love, it isn't always in the best interest of the dog.
Wow. This is amazing to me. So if anyone is listening in and they feel that maybe the situation isn't working for them or their dog, can they connect with you guys and find a way to help their dog and find a better home for them? How does How I Met My Dog work? Can anyone who's also has a dog who needs to rehome also work with How I Met My Dog?
Absolutely. What you need to do is go to howimetmydog.com, okay, and you'll see a button to I need to rehome my dog.
Okay.
When you click that button, you're taken to a page that lets you register, and most importantly, you fill out a survey all about your dog. As we say to rehomers, nobody knows your dog better than you do. And so the rehomer fills out the survey, And we create what we call a pet profile, PET. It's based on personality, expectations, and trainability. And it really captures the dog's needs, the dog's personality, behavior issues that, and I don't mean problem behaviors, but the way that dog lives with you. Mm-hmm. And so that then we match your dog. As soon as the dog is entered into our system, it matches against thousands of adopters, our adopters, to find the right match. And an email goes out to people who matched with that dog. It says there's a dog that wants to meet you. Then those people can send what we call our common application to the rehomer, and it'll go into the rehomer's mailbox. The rehomer, the first communications, the rehomer and adopter don't know. It protects their privacy. Mm-hmm. There are no addresses or so forth. And then they can begin to talk on our system. And then if the rehomer thinks that this is a good match, they can plan to meet and then decide how they want to proceed.
I love that. I remember looking at your site and seeing the PET profile, and it's such a great idea because a lot of times, like I would go to the pound, and even in the past when I would bring home an animal, I always decided I would let the animal choose me because I can't know this animal within a couple seconds and let them know if they like me or if we'll work out. But I always figured the animal would probably know better than me, so I would go in there and meet a bunch of animals, and depending on how they responded to me, and if they really like, I want to go home with you, I'd be like, okay, that's the dog. And they're like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, go.
Well, Christina, this is Jodi. I wanted just to make a point. That's a really important thing that you just said. And oftentimes, if we would allow an animal to choose us, they might make better choices because they're not choosing us based on looks or a breed description. Yes. There's an energy connection that a dog has, which is a very strong sense. And what we've done, because we have a profile on every dog in our system. There are very specific questions that the rescues and the rehomers answer for us. It essentially has given the dog a voice. And that, in turn, allows them to actually choose you. So that dog's profile goes into our database and finds the adopter that's right for it. And the only thing left to do, in addition to apply, is to go and meet that dog. And then that dog confirms whether the energy is right. So we have, in a sense, figured out a way to bring adopting dogs into this century, if you will, and start to say, let's let the dogs have a voice in this too. They should have a say in who they go home with.
No, I love that. I completely love that because in the past, I feel that a lot of times you're right. It's based on, oh, it's Christmas. Isn't he cute? Looks like a little bear. Let's just take him home. Yeah. And then by, New Year's, like, oh, I'm done with this dog. He's peeing everywhere. It's like, duh, he's a puppy. You have to train him.
That's right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Yeah. And I have been a dog trainer for the past 30 years. And when we decided that we were going to do this as a team, we thought we're going to do something meaningful that really makes a difference for the dogs. And when we wrote the algorithm and we decided what questions the survey should have, they're very distinctly based on personality, expectations, and training styles. So the dog can really come to the surface of where they're comfortable living.
And you mentioned something interesting that I don't think people think about enough is the personality. Each dog I've met in the street, when I take my dog out, each of them has a very unique person. They're a very unique personality. They're like people, and they have different
like people.
Yeah, and a different way to communicate, different way to experience life, and different likes, dislikes. And I think it's very important, like you said, because every person is different too, that you have a good compatibility between each of you, the human and the dog's personality.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And every dog is different, even dogs that are from the same litter. Just like humans in the same family, siblings can be very different. And dogs in the same family can too. So just getting a dog on a breed description or what you think that dog might look like, or you are appealing to that dog's look, you have to dig deeper. And that's what we do.
Yeah. Well, guys, I'm hearing that you're very different background. Jodi is a trainer, but Sharon, you've worked in marketing, and Maryann, I see that you've worked as a career copywriter. How did you all come together as friends to develop this?
Well, as Maryann said, we had worked together. Maryann and I had worked together, and when she came to me with this idea, I responded, because I'm always very honest with her, and I said, this is either the best idea I've heard in a long time, or it may not be a very good idea if you don't really have a real matching algorithm. And she said, but we do. And so the rest is kind of history, because Maryann is a very good strategist and brand builder. And I know something about marketing. And when she reached out to Jodi, she was the perfect match for us, because she has had such a wonderful background as a dog trainer. So we really have different strengths, and we've put all those strengths into the business. And our balance has been very good as three founders. And we've recruited a great team too.
And this is so important for all business owners listening in. One of the things you hear, like, who should I go to partnership with? And really, you look to see what gifts and what talents and skills do we need to make this business at its best, and then found people, all you guys that had that to bring together, and to, what one is better in this and one's better in that, and able to bring it together and work well together. And I'm guessing what also all of you have in common is that great passion to help dogs and future homeowners.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Do each of you have your own pets that you've, taken home as well? Or are you all pet owners?
We are. Sharon has a cat, and we know that eventually she will have many dogs. We're letting her
I'm going to be a convert
slowly.
for sure. But we have a cat. We have a cat who would call his lawyer if we brought a dog into the family right now. So we're waiting.
And Maryann has 2 rehome dogs that she has rescued, and I have 2 rescue dogs that I have rescued at separate times from different shelters, one of which is a shelter partner that signed up with us in Massachusetts. And I matched with that dog and sent an application and got in the car and went and met him and brought him home. So we have our own success story right in this team. So it's great.
Stay tuned after these messages from our sponsor, The Neat Company. Are you a small business owner or service provider looking to find a way to streamline your business's finances and cut back on time-consuming data entry? How would you like to save up to 12 hours a week on your bookkeeping? The Neat Company has a solution. As a cloud-based data entry and document management software, they allow you to easily capture all of your expenses via mobile device, direct upload, scan, or email. My favorite feature of this awesome software is using my cell phone to take pictures of all of my business expenses, receipts, and invoices. The software then reads key elements of my document and integrates them directly into my accounting software, like QuickBooks. You can then run easy-to-understand reporting of all your expenses and data. Bookkeeping has never been made easier. The best part is you'll never have to struggle again at tax time getting all of your financial information together. And Neat Company offers a number of low-cost options for businesses of any size and budget. For our savvy listeners, the Neat Company is offering a special 30-day free trial. Visit neat.com/SBR. Again, to take advantage of a 30-day free trial, visit neat.com/SBR. I love it. And you brought up something very interesting is when I was getting started for years, I wanted a pet since I moved out of my home, actually, and I had cats. But when I got married, my husband and partner was like, I grew up with dogs and cats living outside. They don't live in the house with us. That's where the household he came from. So I was like, but no, I really, really want a dog. So the way I was able to get us used to having a pet and what it's like is there was this kennel service in Manhattan that you can look after cats for their pet owner as they go away for vacation. And you get to experience what it's like to have a pet in the house. And so it was a great way for us to start. And that's where we started. And each of the pets we got were long-term stays, actually. They give you a contract, say, is this cool with you? And we talked it over. And so there were 3 long-term stays of 6 months apiece, 3 different cats.
Wow, that's cool.
Interesting.
And it was really cool because then it was funny because my husband was like, he fell more in love with the cats than I love them just as much, but he was really totally from a person that was like, no pets in the house to, oh my God, I love them. Can we keep them? Maybe they won't come back for the cat.
That's a wonderful way to do it. As a trainer, and I've worked in people's homes for many years, I find that oftentimes the partner in the family that protests the loudest about getting the dog or the animal is the one that falls the most in love.
Yeah.
It happens a lot.
Yeah. And so I'm wondering, what suggestions would you have for someone who's like, oh, I want a dog, I want a dog. How do they know they're ready to have a dog accepted into their family or their life? Where do they begin to know if they're ready for dog ownership?
Well, this is Jodi. I think I'm probably best equipped to answer that one as a trainer. So I think really what you have to do is you have to think about the responsibility, and that it's much like having a child. Mm-hmm. And as long as, years ago, we were home all the time with our dogs. And then everyone started to go to the workplace, and dogs were left at home quite a bit of the time. And that's really not a natural environment for a dog to be home alone. They really want to be part of the family. So now, with so many of the services that are available to us, the dog sitters, the dog walkers, they even have dog runners, all of these things can be factored in. And as long as you're ready to have a child, you're ready to have a dog. And what I mean by that is, if you can piece together the responsibility and share it with others, and either hire someone to help or family members to help, most people can really work out ways nowadays to have a dog. There are pet-friendly hotels. You can take dogs on vacation. So the world is changing. And we think that if we really help people change how they choose their dogs, and they take advantage of all these other services that are out there, there's a lot more people that are ready for dogs than they think.
I love that. In fact, right now,
also, Jodi, I think that the other thing is we have a 56-question survey, and people have told us that they enjoy going through that process because it really makes them think about their readiness for a dog, and what kind of pet parent they might be. So even that process, and that's free, they can find out what kind of pet parent they would be even before they adopt a dog, which is what we want them to do.
I like that you mentioned that, because you get started, you're just thinking about the gloriousness of having a four-legged yum-yum running around, but you're not thinking, okay, getting up at 5 a.m. to maybe walk them if you go to work early or something. I was talking to a trainer before I got Henry, and he was telling me about the exercise they'll need, the food they'll need, the cost that goes into it. That's a financial, what do you call, commitment that you have to make. So there's so much more than just the 2 walks, 3 walks a day or whatever it is. And Absolutely. In fact, my wonderful Henry right now is at a kennel dog run where we bring him on Saturday while I do this podcast. So he's not feeling frustrated while I'm ignoring him.
Great. That's being a very responsible dog parent.
So tell me, was it hard for you guys getting this up and going and getting the word out there? And I think that probably, Sharon, with your vast knowledge of marketing, was it hard to get the word out there and get people to know about this?
Well, it's interesting you asked that question, because obviously as a startup, we didn't start with a whole lot of money. We were very fortunate and raised friends and family funds. But what we got back through our own, personal word of mouth with friends and family and whatever is, are you sure this doesn't already exist? It must already exist because it's such a great idea. How come this hasn't been done before? So there's a certain kind of eagerness and awareness that comes just naturally. But we were very, very fortunate because we did our beta test in New England, and we got a story almost immediately, even before we were ready, within weeks of our launching the site in the Boston Globe. And then we got an AP Associated Press article that was picked up in markets all over the country. So we got a lot of interest because the pet area has interest and our idea is novel. So we got a lot of awareness right away, and we've had a consistent PR effort going on as we've spent most of our money on Facebook and Instagram and on social media. So we're looking to ramp that up even more as we go into other markets. We're in 13 states right now.
Wow. And it's true. What I found when I saw this service and it came by my desk, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I wish I had it when I needed it, but I'm so glad it exists right now. And interestingly enough, you talked about how the online meeting and dating services has been around and helping people find their perfect match. Why not with dogs? And that's exactly how I found my perfect match. My husband was on Match.com. So
wow.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
There's a lot to be said.
Our team goes to conferences and signs up shelters, and the shelters have been very eager to become part of our network because they really believe in our approach. So that's been part of the awareness building as well.
Absolutely. It's interesting because one of the things, like I said, when I picked up Henry, they were most concerned with is they're like telling me all his quirks and all his things. They wanted to make sure I really understood what I'm getting into because he was a homeless dog. We don't know what health issues might come up later on. He likes to chew on things. They just want to get a real understanding that, are you cool with this? Do you really want this responsibility? And that's what I think but I know that your survey does is it really brings to a nutshell, here's all the things you're getting involved in. Here's the personality of the dog. Here's his quirks. Here's what you have to know as a pet owner. Are you in for this for the long term? And that's what I think is awesome. You really bring it down to a nutshell where they're asking all the perfect questions.
Exactly. That's exactly it. And Christina, we also, we're very proud of the fact that we only show you dogs that you match with. So you really aren't faced with hundreds of cute faces, and then you have to narrow down if the dog that you think is adorable is a good fit. We show you only the dogs that you match with, and then you're free to fall in love.
Oh, that is such a great point. I remember looking at one of the shelters with my husband, and I saw this dog. He was so cute. Oh my gosh. He was, I forgot his name right now, but he had this personality that was jumping off the wall, super happy, enthusiastic. But my partner's like, he will destroy our house. You could just tell that this is not going to work. I'm like, but he's so cute. Like, no. But
and it's likely that whoever took him home the first time, they weren't a good fit, and they ended up bringing him back, which is why you saw him there.
Yeah,
that's likely his story, and we don't want that to happen. So we think if we match you first and then let you fall in love, the odds are that the dog you bring home is going to be the right dog.
Yep, absolutely. I love this. And so now everyone who's out there listening in and feels like I'm ready for that dog, they can go to howimetmydog.com and get started today, right?
Absolutely. It's free,
right.
And we'll tell you what kind of pet parent you are, and we'll get you started and show you the dogs that match.
This has been so fabulous. I'm so grateful to all three of you for going out there, creating this wonderful site and giving people the perfect way to find their perfect doggy soulmate. I mean, it's so important. And I'm hoping to go out there in the future, long time from now when, because I don't want Henry going anywhere. But no, I actually want more dogs when I move to a house. Right now I'm in a studio.
Well, we'll be happy to help you. We'd be happy to help you with that.
I heard someone say something?
Nope.
No, I was just agreeing with Jodi that we're ready to help you when you're ready.
Thank you so much.
If there's one thought we could leave with you, something
Absolutely.
that we would put on a needlepoint, we'd needlepoint on a pillow if we could.
Yes.
We have this term that we call compatibility. That's the real fit between the dog and the pet parent. So we believe that compatibility matters. And that's what we want people to feel, not just breed and not just that dog is cute and I'll fall in love, but we really believe in compatibility. And we think it matters for a long-term relationship. And adoption is just the beginning.
Awesome. So you call it compatibility.
Right. Yes. Compatibility.
Compatibility. And
yes, we can send you how we write that.
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to put it on your page. Well, I have to thank you again, Jodi, Sharon, Maryann, for the wonderful work you're doing to help doggies and pet owners find the perfect match for each other. And thank you so much for coming to Savvy Business Radio. And everyone, go to How I Met My Dog Today and get the perfect dog. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was wonderful. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
Have a great weekend.
Savvy Business Radio broadcasts worldwide via a large podcast network, celebrating business owners, entrepreneurs, influencers, and successful individuals. Find out about our paid sponsorship opportunities or how to become a guest. Call 732-474-7375 or email Christina@savvybusinessradio.com.